Hi, I'm Kimmy. I chose the health campaigns, and my topic is children's oral health. I went with the 2Min 2X campaign, so let's get a little bit of background on that. This campaign was started in 2015. It's created to promote awareness for children's oral health, mostly targeted at parents and encouraging their kids to have good dental hygiene practices. They do have a website. It's 2min2x.org, and if you go there, you can find videos that are exactly 2 minutes in length for your kids to watch and make sure they're doing everything for as long as they need to be. I think, yeah, here it is. So it's fun and it gets kids excited about brushing their teeth. And you can do things like learn about brushing your teeth, oral health benefits. You can register your cell phone, you get a checklist. It's very interactive as far as campaigns for kids go. It's sponsored by the Dental Trade Alliance Foundation and in partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives. So it's a really good campaign. So these are my PSAs. I pulled them up on the side so we could watch them a little bit easier. This is the first one. It's called Gerbils on a Train.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Okay, so I like that ad because I think we've all done that where we spend a little bit too much time doing things that are silly on the internet. And that's just their way of reminding us that your kids have time to brush their teeth for 2 minutes. Okay, so the source in this message, in this ad, is a gerbil during the YouTube video narrating what's going on. And then there's another narrator, the woman that you hear in the end. I think the talking gerbil adds a quality of humor, and that increases trustworthiness through liking. And the message is that kids have the time to watch these gerbil videos, so they clearly have time to be brushing their teeth for 2 minutes. But I think that's like a fun and sort of lighthearted way to address that we all have time to brush our teeth for 2 minutes. The next one is, this one's another humorous piece called Drawing on Brother.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So those two I thought really complemented each other well because they're along the same lines. A little bit of humor, a little bit of serious, like, come on, get your kids to brush their teeth for 2 minutes. The young girl explaining in this one kind of plays the same role as the gerbil in the first, and the narrator delivering the message at the end also sounds the same to me. And I like the uniformity that is created in the campaign through these two ads. The others are a little different, but the message is pretty similar. This is just another example of the free time that your kids do have. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Brush, 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 brush. Now what you doing, son? Guess what you gotta do? You have to get your toothbrush and that brushy, brushy, brush your teeth. Just got your almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Public teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
So that one one kind of brings in celebrity to the mix for the first time. Everybody recognizes Elmo. Sesame Street has a good pull, I would say, with kids who are figuring out oral health and deciding what's important. The main source is Elmo, and I think it keeps it fun and light with the singing, but it also, he does get the message across that oral hygiene is important and it needs to be done every day with an adult, and that's kind of slipping in the message that not only do they need to be brushing their teeth, but it needs to be supervised because you're not sure if they're doing it for 2 minutes, if they have the right technique. These are just important times in their lives to establish good habits. I think the likability is seen again here, just like in the others, that it may not increase his expertise because it's Elmo, but it does increase the audience's likelihood to be entertained and listen to his message. Okay, and last but not least, 2 more. This one goes off of a recent Pixar film, Guardians of the Galaxy or something, I think.
You do have beautiful teeth.
My what?
Are they really as white as they say? Yes. Oh, they really do sparkle like freshly fallen snow. This is an excellent example of what teeth should look like. Check out the iridescence of that incisor, the beauty of that bicuspid, the magnificence of those molars. And the best way to achieve such terrific teeth is brushing. 2 minutes, twice a day. Not 30 seconds, not a minute 45. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. They're beautiful.
Sorry, that was from Rise of the Guardians. I think that one's good because it has a little bit of an older audience than the previous ones, which are sort of, toddler-esque. But this message is delivered by the animated star, so another role of celebrity, but I think it uses another likability appeal. And I think it's another way to explain that it's 2 full minutes, not 30 seconds, not 45 seconds, the whole 2 minutes, and it really goes along with the campaign nicely. And the next one.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
I think this one is unique because it targets the parents more directly, whereas the ones with Elmo or the gerbils, they're more fun, lighthearted, and they talk to the kids more so than the parents. This one, I don't really think kids would get that message about parenting. So the narrator and the father are conveying the message that everyday parenting can't really be done in 2 minutes like that. It's an indirect effect because the persuasion, as it leads to an increase in likability and then a successfully conveyed message, has to do with the similarity of the narrator to the parents watching this ad, for example. The message is pretty clear. It's a joke, but more adult humor, I would say, that, you'd be lucky if parenting was as easy as getting your kids to brush their teeth for 2 minutes. So those are my PSAs, and I put together the other shared input factors because I think this campaign is really cohesive and goes together pretty nicely. So they all share the same audience. Obviously, the earlier ones are more geared towards kids, but I feel confident that it's addressing the parents watching with the kids, because most of the time the messages aren't saying you should brush your teeth for 2 minutes, it's kids should brush their teeth for 2 minutes. So I think that's a small difference, but it's all about having adults promote childhood oral hygiene. The destination, I noticed two intended outcomes here. The message is direct: brush your teeth, have your kids brush their teeth for 2 minutes 2 times a day. Very clear cut, direct, obvious. But then the other thing I noticed is it's mostly to prevent, because we heard over and over again preventing tooth pain down the line, and that's not something that's cessation. You're not getting them to stop anything, you're getting them to build good habits for the future. The channel, these are all delivered on over television, with the exception of the internet, where you can find everything these days. But I think they all really work together nicely, and this campaign is pretty widespread. There's actually, right out my window on Wellborn, there's a billboard that says 2 minutes 2 times a day now, so if you're in the neighborhood, drive by. Another thing that I noticed, the sources varied, but the messages stay pretty much consistent. Have your kids brush their teeth for 2 minutes 2 times a day. It has to do with the framing of the message and the agenda setting. So this campaign kind of tells you what to think about oral hygiene, and the framing is how 2 minutes 2 times a day. Very obvious. The audience, I already talked about the audience not really being the kids, because at the end of the day, the parents are responsible for building these hygiene habits, which I think flows nicely into the ideas of Gerbner's cultivation theory, because reinforcing the message of good oral hygiene will eventually cultivate the behaviors and impact the future for these kids brushing their teeth 2 minutes 2 times a day. And here's a reference. This is the actual PSA Central website, which is interesting. Not as fun as 2min2times.org, but also a good source, and I did get a lot of information from here. Yeah, so this is actually the billboard that's on Wellborn, 2min2timesaday.org. And there's just tons of campaigns. Some of these are new since last time I looked at it, actually. Yeah, so that is what I have, and I hope you feel like you learned a lot from that. Thanks again.